Like it or not, the internet has changed the way relationships work for people. I mean, platonic and like romantic relationships. If you like it or not, it has changed it. If you could argue if it's worse or better because you can now meet people that you would have never seen before in your life. I mean, that's amazing, right? You can talk to literally anybody. On the other hand, it does leave a lot of questions about, options and stuff and dating and how many people, like, should one person be exposed to so many people in their life? I don't, I think the internet's so new that people haven't really, gotten the answer to those questions yet. But I really wanted to talk about something that I thought was interesting about relationships, especially in the like the in the romance standpoint, not platonic, because being platonic relationships can change a lot and are so broad. But I think what a lot of men, especially men, I don't really know the women's side of this because I'm a dude, but I saw this TikTok yesterday, and it was this video, and it said a guy I only knew for like a month and hung out with only 2 times, right? And it was like a guy getting this girl a promise ring. Now, if you don't know what a promise ring is, it's from what I can tell, it's essentially a wedding ring or something like that. It's a very intimate thing that you probably shouldn't be giving someone you've only known for a month to. And then I commented this. I commented just simply, why does my gender have such a problem with rushing relationships? And I actually wanted to answer my own question, because no one answered it for me, and I thought it was very interesting, and I wanted to use my own experience that I'm experiencing right now to maybe help with that. I think there's this really weird gray area when it comes to relationships. Um, on one hand, you're dating someone or you're married, right? That's gonna be, on one spectrum. You've come to an agreement with this person that y'all are dating. I think that's why people don't like non-monogamy so much, because it kind of breaks that I guess that trust, or like what most people think of when they think of relationships. It's just two people. And I sort of think the same thing, but I'm not going to get into my opinions on that. On the other end, there's people like a talking stage, someone you've just met, talking stage that hasn't really lasted that long, a girl that you have a crush on in school, right? Someone you may not know that well, or even just a friend that you want to be more with. Um, there's also one other section. I would say hookups do not, or not any of this, because I think the thing with hookups is you're doing a very intimate thing without any of the emotional baggage behind it beforehand, and That's a really weird spot that I don't really know where. I don't know, where I'd put this in this section. But there's a strange gray area, right? That I think a lot of men, especially men, I can't really say for women. Men are very scared to be in. It's that stage where either you've been on a few dates with a girl, right, or you're in a situationship, or you've had a very prolonged talking stage, and it's gotten kind of flirty and stuff, right? I think the reason a lot of men don't like being in this gray zone is because at this point they've already let themselves be vulnerable, I guess, to, whatever girl or whoever they're talking to. And they've let themselves be, this vulnerable already without, I guess, having the security of saying, oh, we're dating, or, whatever. And I think, I mean, I know people still cheat and whatever, right? And like whatever, right? But I think that's in its own whole category, because, getting ghosted by a girl after talking to them for a month and being on a date or two is a little bit different than getting cheated on with a girlfriend you've had for 6 months. It's still painful, but it's a different kind of pain. It's not like it's not like a, oh, you portrayed me kind of pain. It's like a, I don't know, like you could have just said something. I put so much time and effort in this, and it just kind of led to nothing. Because at least I guess still in the end of the day, if you had a girlfriend for 6 months, it may have been painful, but you still had that experience with, I guess, said girl, and like doing whatever. And I only wanted to say all of this because I almost fell, holy shit. I myself am in this kind of weird stage with the girl that I'm talking to right now. I don't want to really talk about the details of it, but I will say this, right? We've been talking for, like 3 weeks, whatever, and I've already planned to go on a date with her. And recently I've noticed my brain has sort of started freaking out, and I've been trying to understand, I guess, these emotions, like why is my brain freaking out whenever she doesn't text me for 2 3 hours or whatever. Now, some of it's a little bit more personal with past, I would say, experiences, but I think that's another contributing factor to this. A lot of men have also had past experiences with being ghosted, or having someone leave them out of nowhere. That always seems to be a huge problem for whatever reason. And I think when that, I think, like I said, I think when that happens, men tend to freak out and they try to jump into, let's just say, that next stage, dating, or officially dating or whatever. And that goes back to the video I was talking about with the forever ring. And I've only known this guy for a month, and we've only been on 2 dates. I think so many men are afraid of being vulnerable that they try to, like, their brains just freak out, right? And they want to get into this next stage so fast, and in the end, doing that ruins, I mean, it probably ruins any chance you had with the girl you were talking to. I've done that once before, but you know what? The good thing about that is I will never do it again. Right? Like, I could have had a chance. This is maybe 2 3 years ago. 2 years ago, right? I did that once, and of course, it backfired. Right? So then it ended up just going nowhere. And when I think about it now, I wouldn't want to be in that situation. I wouldn't want to talk to someone for a little bit, and if I didn't, oh my fucking dude, oh my, okay, I'm going to sleep. Those pigs scared me so much. I don't know why. Their footsteps are so loud. Just please be daytime. Holy shit. But anyways, this girl I was talking, or was currently talking to, right? It's strange. I'm just gonna go, like, I guess the way I think of this is, okay, one hand, I downloaded, I started using dating apps six months ago, right? And it's all sort of one big joke to me. My Hinge and my, like, Tinder, whatever. They're just jokes. Like, sure, I have photos of myself and I look fairly nice, but I mean, I don't, I go into it not expecting anything subconsciously. I really don't care. In my head, before I downloaded the app, I was a little bit nervous at first. What I told myself was, worst case scenario, nothing happens, because before that, I hadn't been on a date in like almost 2 years, like at the time, like a year and a half, right? So I'm telling myself, best case scenario, worst case scenario, nothing happens, nothing comes out of this. And I mean, sure, I guess that is probably the worst case scenario, but I think in my head, there's probably honestly a worser case scenario. It's that you actually do find someone, and now you're putting all this energy into it, and it just doesn't go anywhere. I think that's scary. I mean, I think that's actually probably worse, because now you have now told yourself, okay, this isn't a joke. There is someone that I like, and you're now telling your mind that you like this person, and you're going to put time and effort into this thing. And before this girl that I had been talking to, every single other girl that I talked to, it was kind of just like whatever, right? I talked to them, I said, hey, let's go on a date. They said maybe, maybe not. Cool. They didn't go. I didn't really feel hurt about it because I hadn't really been talking to them that long. It's like, yeah, whatever. But now I've gotten to the stage where I have been talking to this person for a little bit longer than, you know, I guess long enough for my brain to now, I don't know, like, I guess actually care about this person, if that that makes sense. Like, my brain now is freaking out because it's like, okay, if I stop talking to this person, that would really suck. So I've noticed myself getting anxious when they don't respond for, not, I wouldn't even say a long time, but just enough time where my brain is looking back at all the things that have happened to me before, and it's now coming to the conclusion, oh, this person's gonna leave you, dude. You're fucked, dude. Oh, you're done, buddy. And that's just not true. The thing is, if I'm just gonna bring up an example right now. Like literally, I'm going to open my phone and tell y'all what is going off my life. Almost closed my phone. Long story short, we were gonna call today, but she kind of just disappeared. It Now, to be fair, it's very late, and I'm not gonna say. I'm again not gonna get to the details. There is no very high reason that she just fell asleep. It is literally, as of talking, like 12:30 at night, and I mean I've been up since like 6:30, and I'm pretty sure she has too. So I mean, yeah, right. Like she's been up for a long time. So 16-year-old me would have freaked out about this. Uh, I mean, 16-year-old me would have been fucking. I don't know. Would have been fucking like appalled. Would have been straight up just devastated. I would think that it's over. It's so over, right? I think the problem with also like this quote unquote gray area is you have to have trust. You have to have trust in this person without having the security that you're dating this person and that you're expecting this person to trust you, right? Or to you'd expect this person to like still actively engage with you, right? They could just leave you at any time technically. And I think again, like I think that leads back to the whole video I was talking about where the guy was rushing into the relationship. This guy in the situation probably didn't want that to happen, but you have to trust people. It just I was telling someone this, your life does get a lot easier when you trust people. I think the problem with that is you have to learn how to trust the right people. And I guess like another paradoxical problem with that is you're gonna not, eventually you're gonna trust the wrong person and they're gonna fuck you over. It's just gonna happen. And I think you have to accept that. Like you really do. Because if you can't accept that, then how are you ever gonna trust someone? How are you ever gonna trust the right person? You know? So I was just saying that because, 16-year-old, 14, 15, 7, even like 17-year-old me would be freaking out right now, right? And I feel a lot better just putting this out there because I was freaking out a little bit. I don't know. I get very anxious, and that may be a me thing, maybe a man, like a men kind of thing, right? I get very anxious whenever something like that happens to me, get left undelivered for a long time or whatever, right? Think, oh, this person doesn't fucking like you anymore. You put all this effort into this for nothing, right? Now, so I would have told myself, I don't know, like I would, if I was younger, I would probably respond in like 6 hours or maybe a few hours and I'd be like, hey, like, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Be an annoying little fucking bitch, right? Here's the thing. I trust that this person will text me tomorrow. I'm trying to, at least. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very bad at trusting people, you know, but I think for people's mental health, if you can just trust people, first of all, it'll take a lot off your mind about this person, you know? It'll take a lot off your mind, and if something does happen, it won't hurt as bad. And you can just say, okay, I didn't, this time it just didn't end up well. It just didn't end up being what it was going to be. And also, if this person is doing all this shit to you and you have to beg them to talk to you, you probably should not be dating them. I think another thing is people are just lonely, right? I mean, a lot of people are lonely. Men loneliness epidemic, whatever, blah blah blah, right? But a lot of people just are lonely, especially with recent just like stuff recently. I know loneliness has become a huge thing recently in the past few years. So again, I keep relating to this stupid video. I think this has really opened my mind a lot. People are scared of being lonely. If if you're in this again, if you're in this gray area between a long talking stage and situationship, you don't have any security of dating this person or whatever, right? There is no security. So if something happens and they don't talk to you for a long time, if you're dating, it's whatever. They're probably just, you can talk about it with them. You're not going to expect them to just disappear. I mean, they still could, but it's way less likely. It's just a talking stage, you haven't put that much effort into it, you don't have as much emotional connection to this person. So you don't care, you don't care as much, or you don't care at all. I think this is so okay. I'm leaving these fucking chickens alone. They're so loud. But on what the? There are so many animals here. What? Yo, I'm sorry. I'm getting off topic. I don't know why seeing all these animals made me so happy. Just it's so stupid. But yeah, I mean, you start talking to this person and you have good memories with them, calling them or whatever. You think they're funny. That's when the emotional attachment starts. Like you start associating this person with happiness. And you don't want that happiness to go away, so you keep talking to them. And then if they stop talking to you, now, you feel like you aren't worth their happiness or whatever. And did I just find a village? Oh my, this is amazing. Yo, okay. But yeah, I mean, I really do like this person that I'm talking to. But if they decide they're done talking to me and we're not dating, I should not have any. First of all, I should not care as much. I should try to, at least, I need time brain, stop freaking out. It's okay. That's one thing. Two, I shouldn't try to, I guess, get an explanation from said person, because first of all, if they're not going to give it to me, whatever, don't. Second, if they were never going to talk to me again and I need to go out of their way to get their attention back, it was never going to be a healthy relationship in the first place, I think it makes it especially hard for me because, like I said, as of now, I haven't been on a date in almost 2 years, man. Right? And every other girl I've talked to off these dating apps that I match with, they end up just ghosting me, but it's whatever. I don't really care. I haven't talked to them that much, If they haven't, I mean, honestly, if they haven't, I stopped talking to them because I just don't think it's going to work out. But I haven't, it hasn't gotten to that point yet where it's like, okay, I'm going to, like, give you an explanation. I've only been talking to you for a few days or whatever. But I guess my mind feels very strong about this person, right? So it's scary. It's really scary to be vulnerable. So, I mean, if you're a guy and you're watching this, my advice to you would be just be patient and try not to freak out so much. The last thing you want to do is, if there is a relationship that's starting to form between you and this person and it's going well, the last thing you want to do is, like, completely fuck it up by rushing into it, right? I think the thing is, even if you do rush into a relationship and the girl agrees, right? I think that leaves a lot of unsolved, you don't know this person that well now, and that can bring a lot of bad things up in the future when you do now have all this emotional attachment to each other. And I think it just ends breakups worse. Oh boy, okay, I know someone that does this, right? They date. They meet a girl, right? I know a friend who's in high school still, right? I mean, I know high school dating's a little different, but they meet a girl. They talk to them for a few weeks. That's all they talk about. They only talk about this girl. They date the girl. And do you know why he hasn't been in a relationship he hasn't been in a relationship that's longer than 2 months? It's because if you're rushing into a relationship like that, it's not going to work out as well. It's not, because, like I said about the whole emotional baggage, blah, 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 whatever. Because I think another thing is, and then I'll talk about another guy that I know, and he was talking to the same girl for like 2 months. It's not 2 months. If it was 2 months, I would not be talking. 2 years, mind you, 2 fucking years. All of that just from to date her for 1 month break up with her and then date her again for two. No, no, he didn't even. He went on a date with her, stopped, went back with her for 2 months, or was dating her for 2 months and then stopped. You know why it didn't work out? It was because he was. It was messy. They didn't trust each other at all. So the whole time, it just wasn't healthy. So there, I have two. So there, I have two very different examples. I have one where someone, I know a guy who talks to multiple different girls, right, all the time, and he gets on these like short like dating phases with them, breaks up with them, and it's just not. I mean, I just to me, it just wouldn't be fulfilling, right? And then I have another guy who, for a long time, talked to this one girl, who, I mean, didn't give a shit about him and like as much as he did, right? And he, was just unhealthy, and he didn't even date her that long. Now, I can't even really say like I can't say, oh, I guarantee this will happen, but in theory, if you talk to a girl and it's like a slow burn kind of thing, and even if it's not a slow burn kind of thing, you just go on dates, right? And you're not official or anything, and then y'all agree to date, the relationship will last way. I think it will last way longer because now you'll know how to trust each other, and that is the biggest. I think maybe that's another reason why cheating happens so often. I don't know if cheating is tied to that kind of thing. That's actually very interesting. Is cheating tied to how is cheating tied to how quickly people get into relationships with each other? And if it's not, could it be tied to the amount of trust they had for each other in the first place when they started dating? Or like, I mean, this could even go to like marriages and divorce rates and stuff. I know divorce rates are a lot higher than they were in the past, and that, internet, whatever, that could be a reason. It probably is partially the reason, right? But I think people are just so scared of trusting others when they have no trust in, when they know this other person isn't guaranteed to trust them back. I think it's like as simple as like that game, where there's like two, there's like two items, and it's if you steal the item and the person doesn't, you get all the stuff, right? Now that's better for you, but you just completely fucked the other person over. I guess in this situation, this is if you're in that again gray relationship area, and this person ghosts you. They in their head don't care, I guess. They don't feel the need to explain to you, and then the person who gets fucked over is now just left with answers, right? And they don't know what the hell they did wrong. Um, and then vice versa. Still bad. Yeah, yada yada yada. This person steals back from you, right? Um, I don't know what both people stealing would be. I guess I'm just gonna count that as cheating because now y'all both fucked. Like y'all both just fucking each other over, right? It's just stupid. But what happens if y'all split? What happens if y'all trust each other and y'all split the cash, right? Like in those game shows and stuff. Now y'all both receive equal benefit from this. And the best thing about this isn't a game show. Y'all don't just receive equal benefit. Y'all receive equal benefit plus this is way more beneficial than you just fucking someone over and getting more cash anyways. Dating and stuff is supposed to always be like actual dating, not like sexual whatever. That's why I said about hookups earlier. Like, no, I'm not putting that in. I'm not even gonna put that in a category because I don't even know where that would go in this. Um, that's why like dating is supposed to be beneficial for both parties, not just. I mean, like sexually or whatever. It's like if you really want to be if you really want to be with this person that you're with should make you want to be a better person, and they should improve your life as much as you're improving theirs, and that could be like maybe you want to be a better person for this, loved one or, girlfriend, boyfriend, maybe, they just make you super happy, right? So yeah, I want to be honest, talking about this made me feel a lot better about the girl I'm talking to, so I'm glad I got to do that. Um, like, actually, and if the girl stops talking to me, I'm not gonna lie, I would be very sad about it. But I think my emotions are more. I've calmed myself down a lot more, even just by talking about this. I just have to trust this person, and I think I do. I think I do. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And like I said, whenever you're going into dating, the worst case scenario is nothing changes. You do not have a girlfriend. And I know I had said earlier, it sucks. I mean, maybe this is a little worse, putting in the effort and then not getting any, not dating or whatever. But what you did learn, I mean, you'd learned one thing. You just learned a little bit of experience. The first time, it's like I got put in this weird stage. I sort of freaked out and kind of ruined the whole thing for myself. And you don't want to do that. I hope I can save. So I hope I can save some poor. Okay, I hope I can save some poor 16-year-old's soul from going through that. But yeah, if you're okay, holy fucking mic boom. If you're younger than me, so if you're younger than 19, I hope I save you from doing some bullshit and ruining a relationship. You're welcome. You're welcome in advance. Okay, don't do that. That's like how to ruin that's like how to ruin your chances with getting with a girl 101. Two, if you're pickier with who you date, I promise you, if you're picky with who you talk to and you do all this stuff that I like said, like you don't rush into a relationship and you just respect yourself, but you also trust this other person, right? And by trusting this other person, I'm talking about like, you trust them to communicate back with you. I mean, it's that simple. You trust this person to communicate back with you, and you don't feel the need to exert more effort into getting this person to notice you. If you do that, I promise you, if you do end up dating someone and you do all of these things, you will end up in a healthier and longer relationship. And the thing that ends up ending this relationship, if it ends, right? If it ends, it will be something that comes up along the way that's a little bit more serious, besides them just not wanting to talk to you anymore. And I get it. There are some crazy people, There are people that just ghost you out of the blue after dating for 2 years or something. I've heard horror stories of that happening, but I promise you, that's not going to happen as often as you think, as long as you find the right person and you don't overlook all of these. I know people say whatever red flags, right? You don't look over all these red flags immediately. So yeah, I mean, I guess if me and this girl I'm talking to start dating or we go on our date, I'll mention it and I'm like, hey guys, I was right. If she ghosts me, maybe I'll mention it too. I'll just say like literally how I feel about it, just to say like, okay, yeah, I fumbled. But yeah, I'll make sure to mention that. Um, I'm sorry for being gone for so long. I mentioned this in my other video, and I'm at 235 subscribers, and I'm super grateful for y'all. Y'all, why'd I say y'all? Yeah, I'm so grateful for y'all that y'all are following me. The fact that you're in my presence, the fact that you're in my presence should be a gift to you. I mean, no, I am grateful for y'all for watching this. Like seriously, I thank you, really. But I really do hope someone. I really hope I can save at least one. One, or maybe two 16-year-olds from fucking doing that and trying to rush a relationship and like just ending it immediately because they did that, or even someone older. Because oh my god, in that video, like I'll see stuff like this about rushing a relationship, or oh guys, I thought she was the one. I talked to her for a whole 3 weeks. I went on 2 dates with her. And I watch these thinking in my head, oh yes, I was once 16. But then you'll go into the comment section and there's like some 25-year-old dude like, oh yes, I see. So relatable. And I'm like, no, dude. No. Like, come on, man. It's so like I don't know, it makes me sad. But yeah, I mean, you're not gonna you're not gonna know what it's like to. I think also if you get hurt a lot from past relationships, it's honestly a good thing because now you know what to avoid. Okay, this video is very long, but I'm very glad I talked to YouTube about this. Again, love y'all. Thank you. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.